Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to Bryar Rose continued. Forgive me if I sound off. I have a very swollen throat, swollen tonsils, so I'll just do my best. Landing in Charles de Gaulle was a nightmare. Not the part about the plane actually touching down, that bit went pretty smoothly. No, I'm talking about how everyone was staring at me like I'm nuts for screaming never at the top of my lungs. After that, it took a while to get through customs, but that was my bad. The fake passport I grabbed wasn't Ella's best work. As fake names go, Brianna Rosacea sounds pretty fake. In the end, I got through fine. I'll leave it to Ella. Her false docs will never let you down, even with a bogus-sounding name. The real trouble came with finding a cab. Once I told them I wanted to go to Boucheroux, they speed-talking French motioned toward the door until I left. Finally, I found a guy who would do it, which brings me to the present moment. Gustav has been driving me in circles for at least 3 hours. Boucheroux is right outside Paris. I checked the distance before I left for Europe. Dr. Google says I should have reached Boucheroux from the airport in about an hour. So Gustav wants himself a big fare. Fine with me, so long as I arrive by midnight, which is about 20 minutes from now. I lean forward and clear my throat. Hello? Gustav is an old and balding dude who reminds me of a human-sized troll doll. He's a lumpy dude with a large nose, bald head, truly massive eyebrows. Now, here's where it would be handy to show Gustav my cell phone, complete with a handy map to Boucheroux. However, if I turn my cell on, it's sure to blow up with calls from Ella and Knox. Leaving a fake note was hard enough. If I pick up the phone, I'll totally crack and tell them where I really am. Instead, I use my newfound skills as a mime. Boucheroux? I pretend to be hoeing the ground, farmer style. When? I point to the non-existent watch on my wrist because, really, who uses a watch when you can just check your cell? Gustav grumbles something that sounds like blah blah blah, stupid blah 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 blah. Over the past 3 hours, Gustav has been crystal clear that he thinks visiting Boucheroux is a bad idea. Amazing what can be conveyed despite the language barrier. I point to my wrist again. When? Gustav pulls over to the side of the road, where in a deserted area are farms and a ton of sheep. The landscape around here changes in a heartbeat, by the way. 1 second you're in the middle of a big city and then zoom. Just 2 minutes later, it's Farmville. Closing my eyes, I check in on my inner wolf. Sure, she slept for most of the plane ride, but that all ended when I flipped out. Charles de Gaulle wasn't a favourite either. Once the cab hit the countryside, she conked out again. Are you awake? I asked my inner animal. There's no response, unless you count snoring. My wolf is still asleep. Good, good, good. I stare out the window at the darkened landscape. We're surrounded by rolling hills dotted with sheep. A dirt road leads from the street to a large wooden farmhouse. Other than the sheep, me and Gustav, there's no one else around. Oh, yeah, I ask. In response, Gustav points to a small wooden sign that's stuck in the ground nearby. The words Boucheroux are written in cocked sort of letters. I pretend to write on my hand, which is the universal sign for how much do I pay you. Gustav asks for a crazy amount of euros, which I hand over happily. Funny how when it comes to requesting money, Gustav is suddenly very familiar with English. Good thing Ella and I have deep bank accounts. As I hand over the cash, I check the digital clock on my dashboard. 10 minutes before midnight. I made it, just like Watergirl asked. Now, I need to meet Watergirl at the farmhouse, and the Codex Mechanica is all mine. All in all, things are going pretty well. Scooching my way close to the door, I wave Gustav, merci. Swinging about, Gustav wags his craggy pointer finger at me. This time, it's French. Sounds a lot like blah, 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 stupid, blah, blah. Thank you. I got the stupid part. I grip the door handle. Who cares if this seems like a dumb idea? In 30 minutes, my adventure will be that much closer to over. I'll have the Codex Mechanica, the location of the fountain, and a lot more control over the entire situation. And not so stupid, in my opinion. I twist the handle just as a low rumble shakes the night air. Crud. Thunder. Nothing more happens, so I figure maybe that's it, storm-wise. Hoisting up my duffel, I leave the cab and step onto the side of the road. A torrent of fat raindrops pelt my head, because of course, it's going to rain. Oh well. The faster I get to the farmhouse, the more quickly I'll be out of the storm. As Gustav peels away, I hustle up the dirt road and quickly discover a fun fact. Wearing leather pants in the rain is a terrible idea. Talk about safe. In record speed, I reach the top of the hill and find a 2-story farmhouse. There are lights on inside. All the windows are open. The front door is ajar as well. I step up onto the porch. Hello? I ask. Anyone here? The good news is that the porch is mostly covered. The whole place is built with weathered wood, and it's so warped. There are huge spaces between each slat. It's like whoever built the place never heard of insulation. Still, it's better than nothing. Even standing on the porch, I'm no longer getting pelted so badly by the rain. The air scents of green grass and sheep. It's the second smell that awakens my wolf. My inner animal stretches. Where are we? Can I eat sheep? We've arrived at a place called Bryar Rose, I reply in my mind. We need to meet Watergirl here. Dinner can wait. And we aren't eating random sheep, although I don't add in that part. I set down my duffel and knock on the open door. Watergirl? Are you in there? No reply. I scan inside the house because, hey, if they didn't want anyone to be peeping around, they should have closed the door. The interior is French rustique. I'm talking rickety wooden furniture, faded drapes, and threadbare braided rugs. It's a look that could be cool if it were shabby chic, only here it's just shabby. Rain drips through the holes in the floorboards and seeps through the walls. Great puddles form on the floor. No one even bothers to put out a bucket to catch the fall. The place looks deserted, only it isn't. A long wooden table sits against the far wall. 3 bowls of stew have been laid out in a neat row. Wisps of steam curl up from the meals. People definitely live here. Cautiously I step inside. Hello? Watergirl? My skin breaks out in goose flesh. Nothing like being in the rain and then a drafty farmhouse to trigger your shiver reflex. My inner wolf perks up again. Rain always throws off a sense of smell. There's something strange in this place, grumbles my wolf. You're not kidding. I reply in my mind. Watergirl should be here by now. That's not what I meant. Inside my soul, my wolf hops up onto 4 paws. Her eyes gleam with golden light. We must shift. I'm not changing into wolf form in some stranger's house. Shift, howls my wolf. At that moment, the scent of foreign wolves becomes strong, along with the smell of burnt charcoal. Shifters are nearby, and whoever these wolves are, they are furious. The wall to my right buckles. Windows shatter. Beams of wood snap apart like I've never seen. A wave of rain and wind pelt into the house, tearing through the ruined wall. Six massive werewolves leap into the room. All their eyes shine with golden magic. Low growls reverberate through their chests. Since their ears are back and their teeth bared, there's no question what these shifters are here to do. Attack. I make a quick assessment of the pack. 5 of the wares are dark grey fur and lean bodies. All these wolves hang back in a semicircle around the largest of their number, a massive wolf with pale grey fur and extra long fangs. That one's their alpha, no doubt. Inside my soul, my wolf claws at the ground. Make the change, she urges. There are 6 male wolves. I smell burnt charcoal on them. You know what that means. Rage. My wolf is right. Enraged shifters won't join a discussion about Watergirl and the ancient devices. They'll kill first, ask questions later. I take my wolf's advice, and I shift. Fast. Energy and magic charge through my nervous system as my arms and legs transform into hefty limbs with massive claws. White fur erupts across my body. My fangs descend. My muscles flex and prepare to fight. I become wolf. Moving in unison, the 6 wares leap at me. I lunge out of the way, sliding into the opposite wall. The weathered boards snap under my weight. The other wolves follow in a mad rush for the same wall. I go low on my haunches, my back legs braced against the half-broken wall. Bring on another mass attack. I'm ready. The scent of rage grows stronger as the pack closes in. Once the alpha's front claws scrape against my muzzle, I leap into the air and over the pack. The group of wolves can't stop their momentum. All 6 of them slam into the same wall. It shatters. We now have 2 busted walls and a very rickety farmhouse. The sound of snapping wood fills the air. The corner posts on the side of the room buckle. The floorboards above my head sag. Not long now before the whole place collapses. All around me, the weathered boards creak and shudder. Good. All I need is for the place to fall apart. It will be the perfect opportunity for me to counterattack. Fight with your head, boys, growls the light wolf, the grey one. You watch sheep. You don't act like them. This shocks me for 3 reasons. First, it's pretty rare a shifter can talk in their animal form. And second, this guy speaks English, also very unexpected. Third, he's asking them not to just chase me around and slam into walls anymore. That really throws a monkey wrench into my number 1 plan for winning this battle. Crud. The wolf fan out and encircle me, which really gets my adrenaline pumping. Ella and I watch our share of Jackie Chan movies. We always love it when 20 ninjas go after the hero at once. Jackie Chan takes them all down in 30 seconds flat. But in reality, that's incredibly hard to do. I tried to keep them all in line of my vision, but that just ends with me twisting about in circles. I'm panting now. This is really bad. Close in slowly, boys, says the alpha. The wolves keep circling me in even smaller loops. This isn't going to end well for me unless I do something quickly. Leaning back on my haunches, I prepare to try another leap over their heads. And that's when the roof decides to fall in. Ceiling beams snap, floorboards collapse. Someone's massive sleigh bed falls right onto my back. Ouch. A ceiling beam slams onto the back of my head. White hot hurt explodes behind my eyes. Dizzy with pain, I try to get up. But some of the wolves have jumped onto the massive piece of furniture that's across my back. Plus, that massive beam isn't giving an inch. With all my strength, I twist and I writhe. Nothing helps. My wolf, who'd been pretty quiet through the battle, decides that now's a good time to give strategic advice. Shift back into human form, urges me an animal. They won't expect it. Neither will my spine, I reply in my mind. Or the back of my skull. The alpha strides into my line of vision. Good thing we were warned about you. His eyes flare with golden light. No one comes to steal our flock, you hear? I buck even harder, but it doesn't help. I'm pinned down tightly. Plus, twisting about only makes the ceiling beam press harder onto the back of my head. I can't even open my jaw enough to speak. The alpha strides closer. I hate to make an example of you, considering that you're a woman and all, but a deal's a deal. Leaping forward, he sinks his teeth into the tender flesh of my neck. The copper tang of blood fills my senses. My inner wolf howls with agony and terror. This is where I die. No, please no. Outside the ruined farmhouse, the storm grows more fierce. Fresh bolts of lightning strike around the grounds, casting flickering shadows around the room. From the corner of my eye, I see what looks like a huge black wolf leap through the ruined wall, his massive form highlighted by a bolt of lightning. Nox is here? Fast as a heartbeat, Nox tears into the wolves that are pinning me down. One by one, the shifters are flung off my back. After that, my mate clamps down onto the alpha's neck, tearing him away from me as well. My inner wolf howls with glee. Our mate is here. He saved us. I'd howl as well, if I didn't have so much blood loss to worry about. With the wolves off me, Nox kicks away the beam and mattress. He leans in and checks out my neck. Bry, are you okay? Before I can answer, the other wolves race around us, ready to counterattack. In response, Nox's entire body shines with golden light and magic. Enough! He cries. Waves of alpha energy radiate off him. making the entire room tremble. Floorboards creak, broken bits of glass jingle in the air, and they shattering in the frames. The air shimmers with waves of power as Nox's alpha energy reaches the other walls. They all freeze in place. I'll say this one last time, growls Nox. Back off, my mate, or I will kill you. A final burst of alpha power shimmers through the air. After that, Nox releases magic. My mate's fur returns to its regular shade of black. For a long moment, there is only the rain, lightning, and no one moving. Then the other alpha tilts his head. Nox, is that you? We haven't seen you since we all went to the Denari together. The alpha shakes his head again. That can't be you. Nox scrapes at the floorboards with his front claws. You know another huge black wolf who can kick all your asses in 30 seconds or less. Damn, says the alpha. And this shifter here, is she really your mate? Nox growls out one more word. Yes. He turns to me. Are you all right? I force myself back onto my legs. I'm feeling better. Good to see you, though. Nox leans in and checks my neck again. It's almost healed. Bauer here isn't a very efficient killer. Thankfully. That must be his name, Bauer. Nox shoots an angry look at the alpha. Bauer's tail goes under his legs. She was coming after our sheep. And who told you that? Snarls Nox. Bauer's ears go flat against his head. That would be, let me guess, growls Nox. Tea. That's right. It's been a day for shocking news, but this one still floors me. I focus on Nox. Do you mean T, as in your ex-girlfriend? Nox nods. My guess. She engineered this whole thing, so I'd have to pay attention to her. T called me in New York and said, you're about to be attacked at Boucharu. She told me she has the Codex Mechanica, I say. Nox eyes narrows. She probably does. T loves to collect rare stuff. Bo crouches down to the floor. I have to hand it to the guy. When he goes for a grovel, he's all in. Look, Nox, we didn't know she was your mate. T called us and told us a fierce warrior was after our sheep. She even said the scents would be misleading. In exchange for the information, we promised to take care of her. We need to talk about this. And not as wolves, says Nox. With that, he starts to change back into his human form. His bones realign on furry tracks. Within a few seconds, there's an awful lot of naked butts standing in front of my wolfy self right now, and I can't help but notice that Nox is looking totally recovered from the last time I saw him in New York. Back then, he'd lost all his muscle tone. In fact, my mate could hardly stand by himself. But now, Nox seems fully recovered, judging by the quality of his glutes. And there's his ripped back too. Oh, let's forget that part. On the great legs. Plus, his arms look pretty buff again. Heck, even his toes look better. Nox glances over his shoulder, grinning. He rakes his hand through the mop of wet black hair. Like the view. I mock pant a little. Woof. Nox strides over to a wooden chest by the wall, opens it up, and pulls out a pair of jeans and a black tee. He pulls them on and looks to the other wolves. Get changed, guys. At this point, I realise that I should probably ship back as well. Within a few seconds, I'm back to my human form. Happily, my unshreddable outfit is once again in place, and somehow magically cleaned in the process. The Fae may be crazy, but they do make good clothing. The moment my shift is over, Nox pulls me into a hug. I've been so worried, Bry. I'm sorry. This was something I had to do. I lean in to embrace him. Besides, I was making you sick. Nox leans back and cups my face in his hands. Something is making me weak, Bry. But it's not you. It's never you. Across the room, someone clears their throat. Nox and I look up to see 6 very buff guys in overalls standing around a ruined farmhouse. Nox slides his arm around my waist. Bry, I'd like you to meet the Bryar Rose and his people. My eyes widen. Oh, I get it. Your fairy tale template is Bo Peep. Bohm nods. I don't lose my sheep, by the way. If you leave them alone, They don't come home. Other wares have them for dinner. One of the other guys raises his hand. We're vegetarians. After spending years going after the denari, you lose your taste for red meat. Knox looks around the place. I say sorry that your house got ruined, but you attacked my mate. It's all right, says Bo. Even as curly blonde hair like his namesake. Meaning to rebuild. Anyway, this place was always a dump. We lived mostly in the wild with our flock, as the one who made the vegetarian comment. I decide to call him Chatty Cathy since it goes with the Bo Peep theme somehow. Hey, says Bo, maybe your warlock friend can come over and conjure us up a house. He scans the room, like Alec is hiding under a floorboard. Where is your buddy anyway? Isn't he always with you? Bo hitches his thumbs into the sides of his overalls. Although, I guess if your mate travels alone, maybe Alec does that too now? For the record, I've been a very patient person about being attacked and having my neck chomped on, but getting critique for travelling alone, this is just one step too far. I round on Bo. Look here, buddy. I came to Europe to save all of magic for everybody, you guys included. You don't even know what that means, but it's a big deal, an even bigger pain in my neck. Want to know why I came here alone? I'm not a big fan of people who drag those they care about into trouble just because they can. I get this job done on my own and keep my mate safe, so that's what I did. Because unlike some people in this room, I don't think like a sheep and do things just because that's what someone told me to do. I toss my hair over my shoulder. Plus, I hope your stupid crabby house burns down. I'm not sure why I added the last part, but it sure felt good. Bo's mouth hangs open for at least 20 seconds. I can see why she's your mate. She's also right about the magic stuff, says Knox. We need to go see T. You got a bike or car I can borrow? Let's check out the old barn, says Bo. There might be something in there. In the end, Bo gives us his old Fiat to drive, which is more like a golf cart with doors, but it's still better than nothing. We get in and start up the engine. I'm surprised there's even an engine, really. I half expected for us to pedal the thing forward, Flintstone style. I squirm in the frayed pleather seat. Look, I can't imagine what you'd think about how I took off. You don't have to say another word, Bry. Everything was explained back there with Bo. I understand why you tried to do this alone. I also get why you don't want to put Ella and Alec in this either. But I'm here now. There's no way I'm leaving your side, yeah? A weight I didn't know I was carrying seems to lift off my bones. Yeah, good. Knox puts the car in gear and takes off down the dirt road. I know the way to T's. You get some sleep. I'm not sleepy. That's what I say. But the moment the words leave my lips, my eyelids instantly feel super heavy. I fall asleep within 5 minutes. At least, I don't have any nightmares of the void. And that is the next part of Bryar Rose. Like I say, please forgive me if I don't sound right. I have very swollen tonsils. And it's not a wolf in the background snoring or grumbling. It's just Dougal that you can hear. Many blessings.